In case you were wondering why my channel is a mess and why I have weird things like note here, and sometimes I just start out of the bat or part one, part two. I'm using this as a storage and an organization tool because I have no memory in my head and I have no memory in the phones, and every computer I get gets stolen and low, and if I get one up here, that's less money for medical bills. The only things I buy are medical stuff or stuff that will get me more money for medical stuff or needs. I try to keep the wants out of it. And as far as a computer, that is a need, but there's always some $300 item needed before it. If I have no mattress and I have a choice between a laptop or a place to sleep, I have to pick the place to sleep or I won't make it. I'll be in the woods, so that has to come first. I always have to keep in mind I have a choice. I can either do this from the woods or I can do this from here, because even if I move in the shelter, because of my disability, it's not going to work. Until I have documentation of what's going on with me, it's not going to work. Hence why I have to put my health first. My health has to come first over everything else. Now, what do I need to do to stay healthy? I got to stay in an apartment. I have to keep a phone line open. I have to make sure I go to the doctor in the emergency room, and I got to make sure that I'm explaining this fully in as much detail as possible, because it's a very confusing case and none of the paperwork helps. Actually, the paperwork probably would mislead. A lot of it is real. Half of the paperwork is real, but it's totally been nonsensically messed up on purpose in a certain way. And that's why it was done in this certain way. It makes perfect sense once when you have all the puzzle pieces. Why she held me back in first grade, why she made the excuse that it was an allergy attack, why she took me out of that doctor, why I was in ballet, why she wanted to move so much, why I was in New Mexico, why all the heavy medications, why the ignoring the dangerous symptoms in my body, why leaving me to die or get sick multiple times, why sneaking meds into my body, why the lack of care with drugs in my body, why the crazy behaviors, why acting twisted, taking accomplishments away, why switching it, why screwing with your child's brain on purpose and trying to make him mental. All that I couldn't understand until I had all the pieces of the puzzle. So, I'm going to be breaking this up into different chunks. Whenever I put myself in that situation where I try to relive my moment, it's very stressful. When I was just explaining this on the recording, I was remembering my mother with the cookie, and I was remembering the newspapers and me dying on them. I have to relive these moments when I talk about them, and it's not fun. It's not fun to remember an Epicac bottle getting poured, filled to the rim in a cup, and then having your mother tell you that it's extra and this is extra medicine, and then finding out later it really is extra medicine, a lot of extra. These things are pretty traumatic to deal with. And I don't get what everybody else gets. I don't get to have my health. I don't get to have an education. I don't get to have any of the things that normal people have. I never had it. It was taken away at age 7. My accomplishments were taken away. My health was taken away. My future was taken away. And I've been trying to get it back ever since. And I'm still working on it. But I could actually die tomorrow. This might be my last video. There's no way to tell. But what I'm doing tomorrow is dangerous. I am going into work doing a 13-hour shift with black urine, swelling in the GI. Both of my kidneys are in extreme pain when I stand up. I'm using a cane half the time at home, and I should be using it outside. I've fallen down a couple times, and the cold is making me seize more than ever because the pain level is going up. As well as I'm sure there's the head injury and multiple other things wrong with me, where going to do a 13-hour shift would be very dangerous. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, because I don't have any paperwork yet, even though I could get it. If my family actually got involved, because they know plenty, if the doctors started doing their job and writing paperwork, none of this dangerous stuff would have to happen. But I have a choice. I can risk my life and hurt myself tomorrow, or I can stop doing this and I can live in the woods. I wish I had an attorney. I wish I had the help I need. I wish I was able to get the help I need. But because somebody else doesn't want me to get it and they put up a lot of walls, instead, I'm going to have to die just like a lot of other poor people who can't afford the help they need. For me, a lot of it I don't need money for, but I still can't get it. Somebody else decided to make sure I couldn't.